Russia, and today we are going by Lastochka. It's electrichka, but an express one. And I remember that several years ago I already made a video starting with electrichka. I was going to Lomonosov. I will link the video somewhere here. And here right now we are going to Tver. And I'm fond of digging out and checking out different regions, and Tver is the region where I have never been before, and the region that is really close to Moscow, so it's a wonder. I wonder why I haven't been here, but finally we are going here, and it's really hot, so it's already nearly 3 p.m. so we're just keeping all the hot weather, and we'll be wandering around in evening wind and evening weather, something like that. So stay tuned and I will show you Tver. You can buy the ticket in a vending machine like that, a ticket to electrichka, the intercity train, or you can use the app, and this is kind of more convenient, and you also can use either here on the app you can use all the cards, bank cards, credit cards, debit cards, so it's once again it's convenient. So we have a QR code here, and let's try whether it will work or not. So we arrived in Tver. The route took us just about 1 hour 40 minutes, around that, and it's on Lastochka, so the express train, as I've already told you. And have a look at the building of the railway station, because it's actually a really nice, it's a style of avant-garde, I guess, and it's really a nice piece of architecture. We decided to use the public transport to feel like locals. Maybe it's not the best idea in this weather, but actually it wasn't our idea, because taxi was expensive and was not going in, to us, so the transport. A short piece of information is that Tver is actually quite an old city, and what's more important, that it actually fought with Moscow for being capital, basically, and that's why you can see some palaces here, some pretty old buildings, and we'll have a look at them as well. The city is situated on the Volga River, and actually, as I know that the beginning of this river starts somewhere here. Yes, I know that that is quite a lot of information, but yeah, it's nice, and there are some ships over there. Yes, I forgot the word ships. Sorry. I told you that I have never been at Tver, and now we are here right now on the walking street, probably the city center, not probably, it's the city center, and we are here having a beer and some snack, and I want to show you that I have a map where I have all the regions that I visited, so let's check out Tver. It's so big! So, 1, 2, 3, tick! 41 regions out of 85 regions of Russia. I'm really close to equator. the street is called tvjerskaya. This is the main walking street, so the place, the magnet for tourists, for people, for citizens, a lot of cafes, restaurants, etc. So it's called tvjerskaya. That is like by the name of three saints. And usually a lot of streets with names like this during the Soviet times were named after a lot of revolutionists and some public figures. So usually the main street in the city was called by the name of Lenin, and I thought that this street used to be named Lenin Street, but it's actually not true. It was named after Uritsky, also a pretty famous revolutionist, and so yeah, a nice fact and also a really nice street. First of all, it's evening in Tver, and it's the whole experience of the city that is on the river. So the water is the air is a little bit damp, and so basically that's the feeling of this kind of city. But that's not what I was going to tell you about. If you're traveling within Russian regions, and if you want to take a taxi and you don't want to overpay, you can use Taxi Maxim. They have an app. It's not as nice as Yandex and Uber, and it sometimes takes really long time for the car to get to you, but it's really cheap. So I do recommend it if you want to save some money. And by the way, maybe you know that we don't have the official Uber here. We do have another Uber that is like Uber with Yandex, because Yandex bought Uber in Russia. So we have the special app called Uber Russia. So if you want to use Uber, you should download this official app, not the Uber, the usual app that you use in Europe, in the USA, etc. So that's it, and let's go further. Right now we're in a traveling palace, the so-called Putevой dvorец, and this palace is basically the place where the royal family could have a rest while they are traveling between Moscow and St. Petersburg, and they can have a rest here. And this palace actually belonged to the sister of Alexander I, and she was a very social gal, if we can see something like this. And she actually had a lot of parties, balls as they were named, and they also had a lot of famous people here, like Karamzin, the very famous historian, and he also presented his one of the masterpieces, the history of Russian state, and he presented it here as well, some of the chapters. Frankly speaking, there are not a lot of sites in Tver, because it's yes, it was the rival of Moscow during long time ago the rivalry for being the capital, and also Tver is more old than Moscow. It's it's just 12 years between them, but Tver is almost 900 years old, like 900 years old. That's like a lot. It's pretty old, but still there are not so many sites. So one of the sites is this sign and in one of the parks. But yes, there are parks, there are several cafes, there are streets where you can just wander around and do a nice embankment, and two rivers, by the way, Tvertsa and I will write down here the names of those rivers. I don't think that they matter. And also Volga, yeah, also here it goes through. So that's Tver. And have you got any questions about Russia? As usual, leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channels. I'm posting on Instagram a lot nowadays, although in Russian, but still I think it will be interesting for you. And see ya!